Welcome to All Things Kajabi, a podcast series by Productivity Plus. Today, we'll be looking at what the difference is between an email sequence and an email broadcast. Let's start off by taking a look at email broadcasts, since they're first on the list. As soon as you go to create a broadcast, you will immediately be presented with a list of templates from Kajabi. Depending on the type of email you're trying to send, one of these templates may save you time when designing your email. Kajabi offers a wide variety of templates with different designs. However, in most cases, you will simply want to use the simple text template, so that's what we'll be using for this video. When you click Get Started, you will need to enter a title for the email. We'll call ours Test Broadcast since we're not sending it to anyone. But you would want to choose a title which makes sense to you. This is not the title that your users will see. This is just a title for your own internal reference. We could create and wait for Kajabi to create the email for us. Since we currently have no subscribers in our Kajabi account, no one will receive this broadcast. But that's fine. You'll notice that Kajabi offers a variety of filters to whom you can send the broadcast to. Note that unlike email sequences, you configure the recipients for each individual email broadcast. This means that you can send your first broadcast to one part of your list, and another broadcast to another part of your list. We'll leave its setting as all people, and click Save and Continue. Now you can see we have the opportunity to choose the subject and email content of our email broadcast. Note that the subject is a separate box from the internal title, as mentioned before. You can also configure the preview text of your email, which is the text that will appear below the subject on a phone or after the subject on a desktop. If you aren't sure what to put in the preview text box, you can just leave it blank. Most email clients will just automatically fill that in based on the content of your email. We'll enter our subject as Test Broadcast again, simply for time-saving purposes, and click Save and Continue. And we immediately get sent to step 3, but we're not ready for that, so we'll go up here and click on step 2 to be taken back to the content section. We're now ready to take a look at the email content. Note that you cannot edit this content directly. You either need to click here or click this Launch Email Editor button to open Kajabi's email broadcast editor. So we'll click the Launch Email Editor button, and you can see that the editor has now opened. You'll notice that if you've built a landing page, that the email editor looks very similar. You have options for choosing sections. You can drag sections to reorder them, and you can add sections to your email. Let's just delete this section. So inside your email, you can type whatever content you want to say. Hi, take a look at this awesome product we've just built. Or whatever you want to say in your email. You'll notice that your logo hasn't appeared at the top of the email automatically. You will need to add a logo section to your email. However, once you add that, the logo will appear at the top of your email. And you can see it's the same logo we already configured in marketing settings. If you are not sure how to configure your marketing settings, take a look at our video where we'll be going into a brief summary of how to configure that. So you can also configure the footer of your email. Of course, there's not much you can change here, but you can see this looks very similar to landing pages. Most of what you can configure here is just the text color, which we'll leave as the default. We can click Save, and our changes will be saved. So email broadcasts are good for sending a few quick emails, or if you want to send just one email to a list of certain people, then email broadcasts would be a good thing to use there. So now let's take a look at email sequences. We'll click Email Sequence, and you'll see that it's asking us to enter the title of the sequence. Again, this is just for internal reference, so you can make it whatever you'd like. In our case, we'll call it Test Sequence. And we'll click Continue. And you can see we've been taken straight to this new email sequence email wizard. And you can see the day number, internal title, and subject. So there's quite a lot of information to unpack here, but let me explain it. The Kajabi email sequence is designed to send a list of emails to a certain segment of your email list in order, with them each following a certain timing. It's much easier to see this with some emails in this email sequence, so let me go ahead and create a few emails. Alright, so we have some emails created in our test sequence, and you can see that they're listed as day 1, day 2, and day 5. You'll also notice this subscribe triggers and unsubscribe triggers list at the top of the email sequence, which currently has nothing in it. So here's how an email sequence works. One of your people on your email list will be subscribed to the sequence. One day after they are subscribed to the sequence, they will receive test email 1. The next day, which would be 2 days after, they would receive text email 2. And 5 days after they had initially subscribed, they will receive the email test. So email sequences are good if you have a set of clients whom you want to follow a track of emails and you want them to each go at their own pace based on when they subscribed. They are not good if you are trying to send an email at a specific time to a list of people, because with an email sequence, it's extremely difficult to choose the exact time, I should say day, the exact day the emails will be sent, because they are sent relative to when the person was subscribed to the email sequence, not at a specific time that you choose. Something an email sequence would be good for is perhaps a nurture sequence after a lead magnet or something like that. Another thing to be aware of with email sequences is that the editor is much more primitive. You'll notice that you do not get all the options with sections that you were offered in an email broadcast. You just get this basic formatting editor that lets you do things like bold, underline, change your font size, personalize with first name, etc. But you don't get any fancy sections. Your logo will automatically be added to the top of the email sequence when you send a test email. I'm not sure if it appears in the preview, and you can see it here on the preview as well. It's kind of big, so you may want to consider reducing your logo image's size if you don't want it to appear this big on your email. This is basically a stylistic choice. It depends on how your logo looks. And that's about it. So if you ended up liking this video, please like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications, and leave a comment with what types of videos you'd like us to make about Kajabi next.